Good morning and welcome to your Thursday morning, early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom to start your day. And we are due for a snowstorm. And of course, it's going to happen tonight into tomorrow because we're supposed to have a rummage sale tomorrow. So we have to figure out what we're going to do about that. My vote would be postpone, but my sister's kind of a diehard. She says, I was born here. I can drive in this. I hope she chooses not to. We'll see what happens. So let's start with some breathing because we're on day 3 of shifting to more peace and joy. And breath is certainly one of the masterful ways we can get there. Good morning, Peggy. Glad you are here. You're the first one to here today. That's awesome. So in through the nose, out through the mouth. Letting your shoulders drop. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Good morning, Cindy. Good morning, good morning. Waking ourselves up. Good morning, Carolyn. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Looks like someone else has popped on. A little bit of tapping just to wake everything up. All right. Yep. A little tapping at the temples. A little tapping on the top. Wake up, brain. Wake up, wake up. Be wise, be free. Good morning, Gwen. Welcome, welcome. Rubbing our hands together, waking those up. Just getting everything moving today. So, this is day 3 of us talking about shifting toward more peace and joy. It's an interview with Brianna Weist from the Architects of Change section on Maria Shriver's newsletter, Sunday newspaper. And so we've been talking a whole lot about how ideas change our lives, and the ideas we choose to entertain change our lives. What we focus on grows, right? And there were some questions that we asked ourselves. What would be a different way to think about this moment? So when we're having a difficulty, or even if we're having a great time, what would be a different way to think about this moment? And what purpose or meaning could I find in this experience? We also talked about what she called the invincible summer, that we can choose to stay in a mindset that creates the invincible summer. And she also talked about the third door of possibility, which was that there's always more options available to us, but because of the lenses that we're operating through, we don't often see them. Change the lenses, change the opportunities we see. She talked about handling overwhelm, and the first step, she said, was stop seeking. Create enough quiet to allow the universe, God, Spirit, to work through you, allow your soul's voice to arise. And again, there are no accidents, right? So I do a Thursday meditation, breathwork meditation, for a group of people fostered by the Episcopal Church of Northern Michigan. And good morning, Janine. Welcome, welcome. And the one that we're doing tonight is a Rob Bell video. If you haven't seen Noom, N-O-O-M, good morning, Deb. Welcome, welcome. Much of his stuff is stored there, but it's Rob Bell. It's called Noise. And the gist of the thing is how we have so much noise in our lives, most of which we create. We turn on the radio, we turn on the TV, we talk, that the still inner voice, good morning, Bobby, welcome, glad you're here. The still inner voice can't come through. We've got too much clutter in the system, and that wisdom gets buried under the noise. So let's see what she has to say today. The question asked of her is, why is the power of the pause, P-A-U-S-E, so essential to you? She says, I love talking about the pause. When we react without conscious consideration to everything, every feeling, and every thought that crosses our mind, we are completely controlled by whatever the breeze blows through that day. We have no inner locus of control. The way we start to regain it is the minute we have that thought, feeling, or experience, as uncomfortable as it is, to find the courage to pause for just 1 second. And I'll pause and take a drink. 1 second. What would get me through practicing my pause in the beginning was I would say to myself, if you're going to scream and freak out, take 5 minutes before you do that. Usually by the end of the 5 minutes, I didn't want to scream anymore because something had shifted. Good morning, Noel. Glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. Awesome. Good morning, Mel. Welcome. Everybody rolling in here now. The more we can practice pausing than responding and not reacting, that is huge. Take the breath. Go to the bathroom for 5 minutes. Whatever you need to do, take the pause. If the glimmers are how we see the door, remember she said the pause allows us to see the glimmers, and the glimmers allow us to see the doors that are already there, but we don't see them because we've got our filters on. All right? If the glimmers are how we see the door, then the pause is how we're able to give ourselves the space to walk through it. So now they asked one last question. Lastly, Brianna, in the Pivot Year, that's her new book, you talk about choosing your hard. You write, it's hard to be in the wrong relationship. It's hard to be in the right one. Good morning, Renee. Welcome. Glad you're here. It's hard to stay the same, and it's hard to change. Will you walk us through this? Almost every time in my life, I tried to choose what was immediately easy. Any others out there who tended to want to take the easiest path? That is when I would slide into the most self-destructive periods or chapters. Almost every time. I would abstain, I would withdraw, I would isolate myself, I would choose what was satiating, I would let my impulses manage me. When we started our time together talking, I said how we need periods in which we deeply rest and re-regulate. That is true. But what is also true is that in that same way that our bodies are strengthened from exercise, our minds are strengthened too. It's called anti-fragility. Anti-fragility. This means we're not only grown stronger, but also deeper and more complete for how we are called to respond to the mountains that we come upon as we are going through our lives, which we all will. Have you ever noticed how the people who have diligently worked a program of recovery are some amazing people? They have depth. They've gone to hell and back, right? In the difficulties, we sharpen our saw. We become who we're supposed to be. The people who have had the easiest lives, don't you kind of find them vapid? There's not much to them. There's no substance. There's no depth. They haven't struggled with anything, right? The people who have had to struggle with stuff and work their way through it and figure things out and be face, as Brene Brown would say, face down in the dirt, in the arena, bloody and sweaty, those are the people who have depth. Those are the people who get it, right? So she's basically saying, face your demons. Face your demons. Those mountains that you're going to have to climb, they are what are going to hone you into being the kind of human being you want to be. Okay? Let's see here. The mountains might look different for everyone, but they're all there. We're all human. But often we get to choose which mountain we want to scale. And when we don't choose our challenges, life has a weird way of choosing them for us. Okay, let's see here. Where'd it go? When we don't confront the pain and fear or the vulnerability of putting ourselves out there or trying to connect with someone we care about and instead settle, life still challenges us. Good morning, Paula. Welcome, welcome. Life will find a way of challenging us for being in the wrong relationship and not challenging ourselves by trying to keep up with our wellness in some way, shape, or form. Life has a way of challenging the aftermath of that. What I mean by you choose your hard is you're either going to choose to overcome what is weighing on you and preventing you from living the life you want and are meant to live, or you're going to deal with the hard of getting to the end of your life, looking back and saying, wow, I wasted the whole thing. That's the choice. Both are not going to be easy, but know you're not alone, because this is the choice for all of us, whether we realize it or not. So, wow, which choice are you making right here, right now? And don't think about it as being an overall choice, the big kahuna, right? I have to make the choice right here, right now, that I am going to scale every mountain that comes in front of me. No. It's each of the little choices we make every day. So, if there's a conflict going on below the surface between me and somebody, am I choosing to step up and say, hey, got something I want to talk to you about? Or do I pretend la 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 like it's not happening? Yes. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Are you willing to face those things that are difficult, that are unpleasant, that aren't fun? And sometimes, I mean, I'm kind of known as the person who calls out the pink elephant in the living room. Does that make everybody love me? No. But that's okay. That's okay. Sometimes it's wearying to be the person who always calls out the pink elephant in the living room. Wait a minute, we got a problem here. Let's talk about X. And sometimes, more often than I wish, I run into, no, don't want to talk about it. Not going to talk about it. La, 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 la. That is a choice. That is a choice. And we're all making those choices. And again, so I'll pick one that is relevant to my life. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated. Dealing with abuse, childhood abuse. Being willing to face that. Being willing to address that. And having someone say to me, I've seen what doing that, working it through, has done to you. There were rough times. Absolutely, there were rough times. I'm not willing to go there. I'm going to leave that buried. Well, that's all well and good. But what happens when you get to the end of your life and perhaps faculties aren't what they used to be and you can't defend against it? I'd rather deal with it now than at the end of my life when I don't have the wherewithal to handle it. I'd rather climb the mountains now and look at the vistas, because again, with the difficult stuff, there's always some positive outcomes. Yes, maybe you're trudging up this yucky mountain of divorce, or this crappy mountain of a health issue, or this really craggy mountain of complicated relationships. Maybe you're struggling to get to the next plateau. Keep struggling. Keep going, because eventually you get to the top. And then you get to look out at these beautiful vistas, and you get to look back at that path and go, wow, I navigated that. There were some steps there where I didn't quite think I was going to be able to do this thing, but here I am. Here I am. So I'm going to ask my famous question. What are you pretending not to know? What are you pretending not to know? It might be that your relationship is crashing and burning. It might be that you don't have a lot of verve in your life right now. It might be that your job is no longer serving you and it's time for something different. What is it you're pretending not to see, not to hear, not to feel? Let's face it together. Let's take a look at it. Let's put it on the table. And yes, I know, once you pay lip service to it, once you put words to it, you can't shove it back in Pandora's box. However, you still always have the choice about how you want to feel about it and what you want to do to address it. That's in your hands. That's your choice. And I know some of you are going to say, well, what if I make the wrong choice? And I'm going to say to you, which will be dissatisfying to many of you, but it's so, so true. You cannot make a wrong choice. Because when you follow your heart, when you follow that inner guidance, whatever you choose, even if later you choose something different, there will be learnings there that you are meant to get. There will be parts of that path that are so important. Yes, then make another choice. And some of you may say, well, yeah, but then that door's permanently closed. If you made a choice that permanently closes a door, that door's meant to remain closed. If it were meant to be opened, it would be. And again, you get to decide how long you're going to stand there looking at that door that's closed, or when you're going to start looking around to see, okay, what other doors are there? Where are the paths? What windows are there? Maybe I could go through the window instead of out a door. Look at the opportunities. There's always opportunities there. Again, what she talks about is that third door of possibility. It's always there. Always there. I'm glad it's what you needed to hear. And isn't that the way this always goes? I don't care what it is, card I pull, chapter in the book, something I read somewhere that I decided to share with you, whatever it is, it always speaks to us, right? Why? Because I'm following that inner guidance. I'll check and see, is this what I'm meant to share today? If yes, you're going to get it delivered. And sometimes, good morning, Cheryl, welcome. Sometimes I'm not happy about it. Sometimes like, crap, I have to read them that. I don't want any. But I read it anyway because I've been around this planet long enough to know that if the universe is presenting it to me, there's a reason I'm meant to present it to you. I never know who it's going to chime with. Some of you may go, meh, that one not so much. That's fine. That's fine. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Definitely go back and watch some of the videos over and over. I love when people do the hashtag replay thing because I know that it then connected for them and they're going to want to go back and watch it again, which is cool. When you're having a crappy day, pick one out and watch it. Whatever little boost you might need is likely to be in there. And it's not because of me. I'm just the delivery system. But the universe knows what we all need. So now, for us to know what we all need, let's take a moment here and create that stillness within. I'd like you to close your eyes. Take a couple of nice deep breaths. And just go within. That's all the wisdom you need. Breathing deeply, allowing. And I'd like you to ask whatever question is most pressing on your mind to that stillness within. And then listen. And initially when you do this, you might hear crickets. Don't worry about it. Keep showing up. Keep asking. That's all it's going to take. So I invite you to have a wonderful Thursday. Take time for yourself. Keep some stillness available for you, wherever you're going to do it. Maybe it's not turning the radio on in the car. Maybe it's going and sitting in your car instead of working on your computer at lunchtime. Maybe it's sitting on the front porch. Here, it's darn cold again, and we're supposed to get snow. So I'll probably stay inside to do this. Well, I do have to go get my mammogram today. Ladies, if you haven't gone to get your mammogram, please do so. We've had no family history, none. And then my sister was diagnosed a couple years ago. So please, please, please make sure you follow through with that. Have an awesome day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.